All right, standing out here in a cornfield in Hancock County, Indiana. We're standing in some 11V76, and we're actually finding a little bit of tar spot. First tar spot that I've seen so far this year. It's not real bad here. This hybrid's pretty good on tar spot, but considering that it's 11 o'clock and our corn leaves are still wet, and we've already had confirmed tar spot in this county, it's not that big of a surprise. So let's take a look. Here you've got a tar spot lesion. It doesn't rub off, so it's not fly poop. You flip it over, you can see it on the back side of the leaf, so this is going to be tar spot. Again, pretty limited pressure at this point, and we shouldn't be too surprised seeing it with the environmental conditions that we've had across the state so far this year. The seed advisor and customer are planning a fungicide application, so we're going to go ahead and get that done. Corn looks pretty good. We have 16 round ears, which is really good for this hybrid. We see lots of consistency with ear set, which is where this hybrid gains a lot of its yield from. So it actually looks like really good corn. I'm optimistic. Just have to do a fungicide application here to manage the tar spot, and we'll be good to go. Jumped into field 2 here. We've been hearing a little bit about pollination issues across the Midwest. A lot of that has been attributed to leaves wrapping around the tassel and not allowing the pollen to fall. And so kind of heard through the grapevine this field might be having some issues, so we jumped in. And we are seeing what might wind up being something like that here. This still needs to unwrap, hopefully, from that leaf. But we're seeing these other leaves hang pretty tight around the tassel, which could prevent pollen from falling down onto the silks and pollinating the plant. So we're still a little ways from knowing whether or not we have a real issue, because we haven't, fully pollinated everything quite yet. But yeah, interesting dichotomy here with this potential problem. Got quite a bit of gray leaf spot coming in this hybrid as well. One thing that I did want to show you guys was the difference between a tar spot lesion, which we have here, which you can't rub off, won't come off, it's part of the leaf now, working its way through to the back side, versus, where'd it go? Here it is. See that black spot right there? Lick your thumb, rub it off. That was insect poop, fly poop. So sometimes you can get really confused because you're seeing black specks all over the leaves. Doesn't necessarily mean it's tar spot. Could just be fly poop as well. So here, this is a competitor hybrid. I'm not going to put them on blast because you never know. Like, we can have bad days too. But we do have just a whole smorgasbord of diseases here. So let's take a look. We've already shown you gray leaf spot. Gray leaf spot stays between these leaf veins. It doesn't cross, so they come across as those like rectangular, blocky looking lesions. Contrast that with northern corn leaf blight right here, which does cross leaf veins and is more of a tapered on each end cigar shape. And then we've got some common rust right here showing up on the lower leaves. It's common, you can see it on the top and the bottom side. Do not believe this is southern rust at this time. Southern rust is way more detrimental, really big deal if we find it. So far, nothing here. And then we'll combine that with the tar spot that we saw. So this is all within 5 or 6 plants right here where we're standing. So quite a bit of disease pressure. It's going to be a good thing that these guys are spraying this hybrid with some fungicide. So stay tuned, see what else we find. Let's just add another
like reddish brown
disease to the list for the day. We got Physoderma here. Physoderma is a fairly new disease, the past 5-10 years or so. Still trying to figure out thresholds and stuff for yield loss and things like that. This is a pretty significant part of the leaf. This is another competitor that we walked through on the way into our target hybrid. This is more 11V76. 11V's got a little bit of gray leaf spot, but yeah, this Physoderma would be the 5th disease that we found so far today. With the heat, with the amount of moisture that we've had, it's really no surprise that we're seeing quite a bit of disease pressure, but it's heavier than I've seen in a little while. So That's the way it goes. Standing here on a split, we've got 11V76 Golden Harvest on this side, and on this side we have a competitor that is the same overall manufacturer of the one that we've been talking about. Likely a different hybrid, but the same base set of genetics. Looking into more of this pollination stuff because, you know, this particular competitor is the one that seems to be having the problems. Let's take a look at this plant right here. So we got all of our silks out right here. So we should be trying to pollinate at this time. Follow the stalk all the way up. You see how this tassel, I'm gonna pull it down for you guys. See how this tassel is still all wrapped up in its leaf? We got anthers, that's these little dangly fellers that are trying to drop pollen onto the silks to pollinate it. They are not getting out of this leaf. They were all wrapped up in that leaf. So you tell me, are they going to be able to effectively shed enough pollen while wrapped up inside that leaf to effectively pollinate this ear? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe the ones next door will drop enough pollen to pollinate this. But definitely don't like seeing tassels all wrapped up like that. Looking at some beans now. This is a Golden Harvest 2674. Really nice looking field of beans here in East Central Indiana. We are seeing some defoliation here, some insect feeding from Japanese beetles. So yeah, there's one here. We had another one right over here somewhere. I think the grower's probably already made a fungicide pass, but if he hadn't, you know, we'd probably toss in a insecticide with it to take care of those Japanese beetles. We saw some silk feeding in the corn as well. So not too surprising this time of year, but really nice looking field of beans. Let's see what else we can find. All right, I'm kind of zoomed in on my face here because we're gonna have kind of a dramatic flip to what we're looking at. Problem bean field. Guy was like, yeah, some crop oil got hung up in the booms. Burn them. I think we might have a little bit more of an issue than that. So I will take a little bit of time and walk through what I think has happened in this field here. So right here is the field entrance. You can see that we have a pattern. We have burnt, damaged beans, less damaged beans, burnt, damaged beans over there. And then we have that part of the field out there that looks fine. So let's talk through what I think has happened. So based on the angle of the road here, he probably came in right here, came around, lined himself up, and sprayed down this tire track and this tire track, right? Heading this direction. Right here and at this boom section, we're looking fairly good. Very little burn, very little damage. Out here on the edges in this next section, and then obviously on the far outside section, we have extensive burn. So he probably pulled up this way, up to where you have this green line right up here, got himself lined up, kicked his boom off up here, and then backed around into this corner, following these tire tracks right here and right here. He then would have sprayed this way, kicking his boom on, right here. Here we have another defined line. This would have been the same section of boom that is over there. Kicked his boom on here. We're seeing the same gradient. Burnt, less burnt, pretty good, less burnt, burnt. He would have followed the outside border of this field before he actually finished up over here where that really nice undamaged section of field is. As he would have went around the outside, this chemistry would have worked its way out of the booms, cleaned out, and so when he finished up there, he wasn't causing any damage at all. So that begs the question, what did he spray that causes this type of damage? My assumption would be that they had just finished spraying some post-emerge corn. There are quite a few chemistries that are used that cause this bleaching effect, that are used extensively in corn. I bet you he had some hanging up in the boom. I'm going to assume it's one of those HPPD chemistries. Don't know what was in the tank yet, so I'm making some assumptions, which is always a dangerous thing to do. But once we get the spray records, it would be pretty easy to decipher what exactly we're looking at here. So, not good for the grower. These beans, although they're not dead and probably won't die, they're also not gonna make a whole lot. You're kind of looking at the way that they're gonna look for a while here. This isn't something that they're just gonna grow through real quick, like, you know, a little bit of cobra burn or something like that. So, unfortunately, not gonna be able to deliver a whole lot of good news for the grower here today.